You that again you have no more than 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, an interesting debate. But as Councillor Charles Anderson just very eloquently said, there was really not very much explanation for the lack of delivery that we have put down in this paper. I mean, there were various points I did feel I ought to just respond to. It was said that, of course, we called in Meridian Water. Well, why did we call it in? One of the reasons why we called it in, because there was no financial provision. And when we had the call in, it's just a pity that the public weren't there, because they would have seen the then cabinet member floundering because he didn't know, pretending that he thought 20 million had gone in, but the only 20 million that had gone in was the 20 million that was put in by the Conservative administration. And he had to be corrected by the Director of Finance that no, Labour hadn't put a penny in, and that was only a year ago. So let's get real. Let's not fiddle around and try to play politics. The fact of the matter here is that a scheme was there to be dealt with. Councillor Taylor referred to these, what should or shouldn't have been done between 2007 and 2008. But bear in mind, 2007-2008 was the financial year in which these sites were identified. There were 4 of them, as Councillor Rye reminded you, and all of them were got on with to a degree. Ladderswood in particular. A lot of work was done on Ladderswood, and that's what enabled you to get on with it at some sort of pace when you did take over. So please don't tell us that it was all a case of you picking up a lot of pieces that were broken and getting on with them. The fact of the matter is you haven't got on with them, and even those that you could have got on with, you haven't got on with. So let's get round this awful myth that you're busily doing everything and getting it done. You're doing very little, and as a result, nothing is being done. And when you talk about the Conservatives not being interested in housing, as Councillor Rye reminded you, who built Highlands? Who built the Island Village?
We did.
Who initiated Ladderswood?
We did.
What did you do at Pointer's End, the electric quarter? You were so slow off the mark on that the DFE was able to come in and gazump you. That's how useless you all are. And let me also tell you this. There are 5 recommendations in this paper at the end of this paper. I'll be interested to hear what the leader of the council has to say about them, but I'm calling for a vote on each of them, which will be a roll call vote. And also, I can tell you now that any kindness that Councillor Rye referred to on this matter going forward is hereby gone.
Okay, now ask the majority group to outline how the matter will be progressed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I understand the points made. Consider the best way forward. Of course, you have to consider the extent to which we've had a coherent set of propositions in front of us. And I have to say, I've not seen a coherent set of propositions. I got a bit confused with Councillor Dines, who was very free-market in his approach, whereas I compare it with Councillor Neville, who in his desire to grab land through CPOs goes further than Lenin with his collectivisation of the kulaks. So we seem to have, it was under a Leninist proposition. There seems to be a bit of confusion about which sort of role to play, but nevertheless, I will be charitable. I will also be charitable members opposite. Councillor Ban, who referred at one point to how she wanted to support all this housing. I now take that as a commitment that there will be no frustrating call-ins going forward on issues relating to housing. And we'll test that. We'll also test in the debate a little bit later tonight on Berry Street West, where members' officers were delighted on that particular issue. And we'll see whether their commitment to housing, their commitment to overcome that terrible problem, is actually identified in that debate and in that.
Point of order.
No, you can't.
The rules of opposition business do not allow you to wind up as well, you know. I'm supposed to just simply...
Councillor Neville, please be quiet.
I think you'll find, Mr. Mayor, in order to contextualise our response to what we're going to do, it's important to explain the motivation for what we want to do, and that's all I was seeking to do. But if Councillor Neville doesn't want to hear the arguments in response, and we were goaded into saying we hadn't explained what we've done, but Councillor Neville clearly doesn't want any further explanation, therefore I won't. What are we going to do with it? Well, quite frankly, colleagues, quite frankly, Mr. Mayor, anybody who wants to know what we've done so far should read the reports. And what I will say is we're committed to issues on capital, to issues on development, to legal issues, and we have no options, or we are committed to those going through the normal democratic process, whether that be at council meetings or whether that be at cabinet meetings. We do not need any lectures from members opposite or any suggestions of how to do that properly. After all, Mr. Mayor, in 2014, their housing policy was shattered because they got stuffed in the election. So quite frankly, we will be doing nothing with the recommendation.
Well said.
As the opposition, Councillor Neville, can you please be quiet? Does the opposition group wish to go to vote on the recommendation within